sentence after watching Euphoria doesn't hit how I thought it was gonna hit. Okay, take two or whatever. Hello, welcome to my video. If you're from my Instagram, I love you. If you're not from my Instagram, I love you all the same. So today I'm actually not going to be doing any makeup. I'm just here to talk to you. So if you're interested in lip fillers, injectables, and cosmetic procedures in general, this actually might be the one for you, because today I'm going to be talking about lip fillers that I got via a hyaluronic pen. So how much it cost, how much it hurt, before and after pictures, my general thoughts on the matter, if I would get it again, and all that stuff like that. So if you're at all into that, then I recommend that you keep on watching. So let's start off with my journey with wanting lip filler. So I've never been unhappy with my previous lips, I guess you could say. I've always quite liked the shape of them, but I did always want them to be just a little bit more plump. I always thought that that could potentially balance out my face better, but I never really seriously considered the idea of getting actual injectable lip fillers that they apply in your lips via syringe. Now that's not because I'm scared of needles or anything like that. I'm actually pretty fine with needles, but the reason is because lip filler always seemed to be way too permanent for me personally, because if you didn't know, lip filler that they inject in your lips can last anywhere between 6 to 12 months. So if you don't know what that is, because honestly I didn't know, a hyaluronic pen is a handheld device that uses pressure to administer hyaluronic acid into the skin. Now this can be used all over the face to correct signs of aging or smaller wrinkles, or it can be used in the lips. Now why I chose to get it done with this pen is because the first time you get this administered to your lips, it lasts only for about 3 months. If you're somebody who exercises way more, it'll last a little bit less than that even, which was great for me because I didn't want anything more permanent. Now if you get it administered a second time, it's gonna last about 6 months, and if you get it a third time, then it's gonna last around 9 to 12 months, so the same amount of time as traditional lip filler would the first time you would get it administered. Now I do have to put a little disclaimer here. As I was doing my research, I figured out that the hyaluronic pen isn't actually FDA approved in the USA. Now that isn't too big of a red flag, because to be honest, there's a lot of cosmetics and skincare products that, you know, are approved in Europe that aren't FDA approved in the USA, and vice versa. And since I live in Europe, I figure since it's approved here, I might as well go and get the treatment done. But obviously do your research whether or not it's approved where you live, and do your research just in general. So since it is approved here where I live, that's why I went and got this procedure done. And also another disclaimer, if you are planning to get this done, please go to a professional and let them do it for you, because I also noticed that you can actually buy a lot of these pens online and try and administer this by yourself to yourself, which I think is a horrible idea, so please don't do that. Okay, so now back to what I was saying. I saw this salon that I follow on social media post about this pen and how they're able to use it to administer pain-free lip fillers. So I stored that info somewhere in the back of my head. I said, okay, that's interesting. Let me think about this for a little bit, and then maybe I'll contact the salon and see what's up. So I thought about it for a few months, and then fast forward to a few weeks ago when I actually decided to contact the salon and see if I could maybe get a consultation. So that's exactly what I did, and I did end up having the consultation with the lady who did in fact end up administering this to my lips later on. So at the consultation, the lady told me that I wouldn't be able to kiss 24 hours after the procedure. I wouldn't be able to apply any makeup for 24 hours after the procedure. I actually would probably be swollen 2 to 3 days after the procedure, and I might have possible bruising. Now she said that not everybody experiences this, but since I know for myself that I personally literally bruise like a peach. I'm serious. Like if the wind howls a little bit too loud that day, I have a bruise. So since she said the bruising was possible, I was already, you know, I was already fully content and decided that I was for sure gonna bruise, and that's what I told her too. But she also told me not to be scared, because I was gonna look a little bit scary immediately after the procedure. She told me I was probably gonna have that duck lip effect, which I told her specifically that I didn't want. I also told her that I don't want any dramatic change. I don't want giant lips all of a sudden. I just want a little bit of a natural whatever that means, plump. So we understood each other, but she told me that I would probably look a little scary for about 2 to 3 days after the procedure, but that the final results of the filler would be visible about 10 to 14 days after getting it done. Now, as of filming this, we're at 10 days after I got the procedure done, and to be honest with you, I think that it's completely settled. I think that this is the final result now, but more on the final results and my thoughts on that a little bit later. For right now, let's get back to what you need to do immediately afterwards. So she told me that it's very important to stay hydrated and drink a lot of water daily, but that it is equally important to actually have a little spray bottle and just mist your lips with plain water for about 2 to 3 days after getting this done. Now that's exactly what I did, but mind you, I stopped at around day 3. I really stopped misting my lips, and that was sort of a mistake because at around day 6 or 7, my lips were getting extremely dehydrated and very chapped. Even though I did actually drink a lot of water, I did ingest a lot of water, but they were getting really chapped. And then at around that time, I did a light little lip scrub, but that didn't help. They were still getting super chapped. And that's because, and this is something that I didn't know, so maybe you don't either, hyaluronic acid, the substance that they use for lip filler, actually draws water in. So if I were to do this again, I would definitely walk around with a spray bottle and spray my lips for about 7 days after getting this done. There's also a couple of other little details. So for example, you're not supposed to smoke at least 4 hours after getting that done because the hyaluronic acid does actually move around for that time, and I don't smoke, so that wasn't an issue for me. But you're also not supposed to go tanning for, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks after the procedure. I also clearly don't tan, so that's not something that I cared about or focused on. But if you are planning on getting this done, please research what you're supposed to do, side effects, and all that stuff like that. So the day of the procedure rolls around, and I got this done on a Friday, and she told me, which I think is very smart, that she actually likes doing this procedure on a Friday because usually it's the weekend and you have a little bit of downtime during that time. You don't have to go to work, so by the time you have to go to work on Monday, you know, you look mostly normal, which I would definitely recommend. If you are thinking about this, try and schedule it on a Friday for sure if you can, maybe Thursday, but don't try and schedule it in the middle of the week because I did look pretty crazy for a while afterwards. But more on that later. Right now, let's get back to the day of the procedure. So she did apply a local anesthetic to my lips to numb them out so that I wouldn't feel as much pain, even though they do say that this is painless. It's not. I'm assuming that they mean painless in comparison to actual injectable lip filler, but I can't really be the judge of that because, like I said, I never got it, so I don't know. But she did apply a local anesthetic, and then we waited for that to take effect about 10 to 15 minutes, and then she did start. So the actual procedure itself took about less than an hour altogether, with the waiting for the local anesthetic and with filling out forms and everything like that. It took less than an hour. But the actual painful bit took about maybe 30-ish minutes, something like that. So she started on my bottom lip and started working from the outwards in. Okay, so now the pain level. I would say that it was around a constant 5 all around, but something that I did note was that it was getting more painful as she was moving towards the center of my lips. So for example, my Cupid's bow hurt really bad. That was maybe about a 7. Well, not really bad, but it was just a little bit more painful. It was about a 7. But also by that point, the anesthetic sort of started to wear off. So I don't know where we are with that quite, but like I said, 5 all around, maybe 6 to 7 in certain areas. But it wasn't a pain, I would say. It was more of a feeling of pressure. But what really got me is because whenever she does administer the hyaluronic acid into your lips, she has to actually pump the machine, and as she pumps it out, there's this like really loud sort of popping, clicking sound that the machine makes. Actually, I would say it's that loud per se, but since she was that close to my ears, it was really loud. So every time that it would make the click sound, I'd kind of go, you know? And every time I would tell myself, okay, you know it's coming, it's not gonna get you, the sound is not gonna get you, girl, but it always got me, so that's something. And she actually told me while she was in the middle of this that my lips had already started bruising, so I was right, I did start bruising. And she gave me a mirror to look at myself immediately after the procedure, and I'm gonna pop pictures up on the screen in a minute, but I need to prepare you for what you're about to see. So she also prepared me, like I said, during the consultation. She told me that I would not look cute immediately after and that I would have the duck lips effect, and that's exactly what happened too. I looked in the mirror and I was sort of taken aback and scared because my lips were really swollen and red, and they were giving off very much a Daffy Duck vibe, and not in a good way. If there's even a way possible that that could be a good way, but you know what I'm talking about. And also for the rest of the day, like I said, I got that done on Friday, so for the rest of the day I couldn't really smile normally or speak normally. I was kind of talking like this because I couldn't speak because my lips were so big and giant and swollen. But she did tell me what I'm supposed to pick up at the pharmacy to help the swelling and the bruising go down. So I went and I picked it up, but I wasn't actually supposed to start applying that on my lips until about 2 days after the procedure. That's what she told me, so that's what I personally did. So after I got it done, this is what I looked like. I was going around the house saying that I feel like a cheap version of Amanda Lepore, but the swelling definitely goes down significantly every day afterward. So this is me the morning after. As you can see, it's way better. The lips are pretty bruised, but it's not that big of a deal. So I would say that the swelling for me fully went down a week after, so that's 3 days ago. But here's what I looked like 4 days after getting the procedure done. So as you can see, it's much better. Now before I was finished with the procedure, she did massage my lips at the very end in hopes of preventing hyaluron bubbles from forming. In my case, as you were able to see in the pictures, hyaluron bubbles did form in my lips, and my lips were also getting a little bit lopsided at one point, so I was kind of worried whether they were gonna stay lopsided or not, but she assured me that that wouldn't happen. But regarding the hyaluron bubbles, she did tell me that 2 to 3 days after we finish the treatment, I'm allowed to sort of apply pressure on those bubbles if they do form. So just sort of put my finger and apply pressure on them, maybe massage them a little bit, up to 10 minutes a day. So with all of that said, let's now move on to my final thoughts. I don't know if I would get this done a second time or probably even a third time, just because I discovered that I might not be the lip filler type after all, because as my lips were pretty swollen and as they were going down when they were bigger, I didn't really like the effect of that on me at all. And now that they look like this, now that they're fully settled, I don't know if the downtime of 7 days to fully recover from this procedure is worth the final result. To be honest, I think that I can sort of achieve this same result just with makeup and overlining, and that's what I've been doing for so many years up to this point. But also, it is kind of nice to not have anything on your lips and feel like you have a little bit of lip liner on, because they are slightly bigger, although it is a very natural effect. So in conclusion, I'm really not sure where I stand with this procedure or lip fillers in general, to be honest, for myself, obviously. I think that you'll have to ask me in 3 months just to be super sure, but as of right now, I wouldn't really consider getting this done a second time. Here are some more pictures for you to hopefully get the full idea of what I was working with before and my lips this morning and how they look as of this morning with the final result fully done. But I would be curious to know, if you are somebody who has had lip filler done before, did you instantly fall in love with it, or did it take a minute for the results to kick in and for you to get used to your new lips, but then you loved it? What's the tea? Tell me in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching, and please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!